Today's guest, affectionately known as Tower of Power, has a passion and purpose to guide people into a life of authenticity. Listen, today's topic is how my part-time job saved my life. Yep. We're going to be talking to Stephanie Wall right after this quick intro. Don't you move. We'll be right back.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know. Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. Hey, dolls, hey, gents. Thank you for popping on in. Listen, you might be coming in live from Facebook on my personal page, my business page, my Facebook group. Hey, girl, hey. You might be watching from YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Listen, go ahead and hit subscribe if you like the content of this channel. Welcome to those that are going to check this out and are checking this out on LinkedIn and Twitter. You might be catching this later on in IGTV, and then certainly Blog Talk Radio and all of our podcast stations, iTunes. We love you. Apple Podcasts. Y'all show us a lot of love. We are so excited to have you joining us because the goal of this show is to motivate, excite, and influence, and we are going to do just that with this guest. And this segment is brought to you by the 6th annual pop-up conference for women entrepreneurs. This is my signature boutique conference that's taking place November 4th, 5th, and 6th. And we want you to be there in Richmond, Virginia. It is live, not virtual. It is live. We'll be at the 4 Points by Sheraton, Richmond Airport location. So jump over to heygirlhey.biz right there on the screen, heygirlhey.biz, and get all of the details and plan to be with me in Richmond, Virginia. Listen, we see listeners and viewers coming on in all the way from LinkedIn. Hey, Crystal. She said, this is my story too. Crystal, I'm so glad you are here. I'm so glad you're here. Coming on in from Facebook. Hey, Tony and Winston, glad to have you. Listen, YouTube is holding it down. That's my sister, my blood sister. Hey, holding it down over on YouTube. I love it. Hey, Tracy, thanks for popping on in on Facebook. And of course, my mother, my real mother, Betty Jean Stanley Mitchell, hanging out with us on Facebook, and some more love coming on in over on LinkedIn. And so listen, let's jump right on in. I am going to share a little bit more about our guest who is hanging out in the virtual studio, ready to chat. Stephanie Wall is a passionate speaker, author, and personal development coach who epitomizes the definition of a purpose-driven life. She is committed to advocating for women survivors of trauma. As a community change agent, she served in law enforcement for 20 years. So I know that's a whole show by itself. She has a master's degree in business and organizational leadership, and she's a certified coach. But let me just tell you, she is here to empower people to combat life's challenges and inspire entrepreneurs. We're all my entrepreneurs in the house. Put hashtag entrepreneur if you're listening live or later, hashtag entrepreneur. She is here to inspire you and set your mindset for success. Without further ado, coming up to the mic right now, live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, Stephanie Wall, welcome to the show.
Thank you. What? I was sitting there like, yes, I need her to bring me into every room. This
is how we do. Oh my goodness, listeners are coming on in. Hey, Sherry, thanks for popping in. Thank you. Miss Harris said hashtag entrepreneur. Yes. Thank you for listening. So let's jump on in. The title of this, and we see you, those that are typing in entrepreneur. The title of this is My Part-Time Job Saved My Life. I want to just jump right on in. What is that about? Give us all the details, all the things.
So listen, imagine this. So you see me, we always tell folks, listen, don't judge the book by its cover.
Right.
Almost every talk that I give, no matter where I am, if I'm the speaker, if it's my power talk, we have a power talk, yes, then it's always going to start out that domestic violence almost took my life, but now I'm called to save yours. And why do I say that? Imagine you are a police officer like I was. So there I was. Officer Stephanie Wall, all in her BDUs, in a room full of other officers. In the back of the room, there was a bunch of like instructors, which was unheard of at the end of a training day, which was already long. We don't know what the last topic was, but I was all smiles and giggles and keying with one of maybe a couple of African Americans in the room, one of only a couple of women in the room. Nobody knew my story prior to that moment. Because, you see, we all, and if you or anybody listening, if you've ever experienced trauma, you thought you could just put it down in the sunken place. Just go ahead and put in the chat, sunken place, because you know what I'm talking about. But there I was. I'm sitting there. In the front of the room is one of my good girlfriends. Her name was Benita. And she was talking. And I was like, why is Benita in the front of the room? But nevertheless, she's here. Maybe she's going to listen to this training. And at some point, they said, hey, this training is about domestic violence. But, I had been in other domestic violence trainings. And so I was like, okay, cool, let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. Let's get this over with. It's been a long day. But then Benita started talking. Now, got to understand, I'd known Benita for over 20 years, and she too was a police officer. And she too was an African-American female. So she started telling this story about how her current husband at the time, how he had been beating on her, and she was telling in great details how she was assaulted, and even starting while she was in the police academy.
Wow.
So here it goes, folks. Here's the deal. I didn't even know I had a trigger. I didn't know there was such thing as a trigger, that I had a trigger to be triggered. I've got to crying. I'm talking. I wasn't prepared for tears. You understand? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm wiping tears. And all of a sudden I can't breathe. And I'm looking at Benita, and I'm looking at the door, and I'm looking at Benita, and I'm looking at the door, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. And I just realized I felt naked in the room because nobody knew this story. And all I'm thinking in my head was screaming is, do they know? And do they know? And I ran out of that room, ran into the bathroom. But I'm going to tell you that just like so many other people, we can't run from our problems. Eventually it catches up to us, and we have to be brave. Wow. I've never been braver in my life. I don't think I've got to hold on to the sick. And I was talking to myself, and I was like, Stephanie, you got to go back in the room. They're going to think your current husband did something to you. They don't know. Oh my God. I mean, when I ran in the bathroom, I checked every stall.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared. You understand? I didn't want anybody, to see me. And I even said, oh my God, you got to get back in there, because in a minute they're going to come looking for you, and you're not ready for the conversation. So I walked back past the guard I had just ran past to run to the bathroom, grabbed me a bunch of toilet paper, went back in the room. It felt like I walked through the gauntlet, and I sat down.
Wow. Because
you see, I had been experienced domestic violence in a level where literally I shouldn't be here telling the story. And I thought that once I got past it and went on ahead and lived my life 20 years later,
wow,
that it would be something I would never have to talk about again. But what I found out is that it's a lie. That is trauma. See, let's talk about trauma. Trauma, when you experience it, you've got to go talk to a professional. See, the people in my community, we were told, just go pray about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just go pray about it, talk to pastor, somebody or whatever. And give it to Jesus, give it to God, and everything will be all right. Well, I did all those things. But I needed to go talk to a professional person, because when you reach a level where I know you heard it. You all heard it. Yeah. You see it on television. When someone decides that if I can't have you, nobody will. And they mean it. When you've been beaten so bad that your mama don't recognize you, that is significant. You understand?
Yes.
So Stephanie had to deal with it. And from my trauma, one of the things I learned, because I sought out a professional, because I realized this thing was significant. Because once I got in my car, I jumped in my car. I muscled through it. I cried some more. But when it was over, I grabbed myself and I ran to my car. And as I drove home, I was thinking about how I was going to have to quit. Wow. And not only was I going to have to quit, but my husband was going to have to quit, because he too was law enforcement, and he had been there first. I thought the shame was so overwhelming. And when I got in the house, I just burst through the door. He could see something was really wrong. And I just fell into his arms. I started telling him the story. I'm sure I sound like the woman on Charlie Brown, wonk, 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 because it was all rolling out at one time. He let me get all that stuff out. And then you know what he did?
What?
He pushed me back. And he looked at me and he was like, baby, I know the story and I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, don't let anybody steal your power. And he reminded me why I became a police officer in the first place. And that was to protect men and women and families from experiencing what I had experienced. And I will tell you that I not only, in that moment, it was like he gave me my words back like a parent. You know, you give your words back. So I'm always talking about don't let anybody steal your power. Not only did I say those words, but I would say those words to women and men who were experiencing what I experienced, but they didn't experience it to my level because I saved hundreds. Do you understand me?
Wow. Yeah.
So in that moment, I said, you know what? Okay. You know, it gave me the power. It gave me some power back. You know, I had to deal with some things. And I got the courage up and went back and talked to the office and asked her, what possessed you to tell your story? And she said, because I didn't want my story to hold me hostage or arrest me, keep me incarcerated for the rest of my life. Because, you know, if you ever heard Dr. Sherwood, and many people say it different ways, but Dr. Sherwood says that our story is about us, but not for us. And I found out through counseling and just telling my story to release it from myself was that story. Yes, it happened to me. But the fact that I shared my story, because folks, when they see you, all they see is who you are now.
Yeah.
And they like, oh my God, I'm gonna be just like you. I was like, do you? Because in order to be who I am today, you have to be who I was yesterday. And then the year before, and the little girl that was broken, the little girl that had self-esteem issues, the little girl that became the high school girl, and the adult that allowed some things to happen to her because she thought that was a norm. And so
Stephanie, can I pause you right there?
Yes.
Wait, this is y'all. You need to put some hearts up, some love. It's so many people are commenting. I just have to acknowledge. Heidi said, I can totally relate, Elder Heidi, but living in an abusive situation. Miss Harris said, sunken place, federal prison, 2.5 years. Other people are witnessing. I just wanted to, Jade, amen. I have experienced this, tear emoji. So I just wanted to acknowledge. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave to type your comment in. And clearly, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are in the right place today. Pastor Annie said, about us, not for us. And she's got an amazing testimony. So I just wanted to, Yvette is putting hearts up. I just wanted to pause there. So powerful. Listeners, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Stephanie Wall, speaker, author, personal development coach. You can hear already what she brings to the table. So let me let you keep on going.
And I thank all of you for speaking that, because we have to, those things important. Because I'm going to tell you that when you tell your story, and if you, for those, and listen, everybody has a story.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has a story. And so here's the deal. Until you're ready, your story isn't for everybody. Because I will tell you that when I wrote a book, and I'll show you, I wrote a book, how my part-time job, say this is the little one, that one they give you to peruse, right?
Yes.
How my part-time job saved my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the deal. For many people, like, who's the part-time job? I was in direct sales.
Oh.
And had I not been for those women who I never told exactly what was going on. But here's the deal. People know when you're going through.
Yes.
But for many reasons, and in particular, they don't know what to say. They don't say anything. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people get in a place, they don't say anything because, they might have said something one time and then you went back and then they kind of a little mad about that.
Right.
There's that. It might have been they said something to somebody else before and the pushback, was so bad and the friendships ended that they value your friendship and they're afraid to lose you if they say they think that they're going to lose you. But I'm going to tell you, dear friends, family members, and folks, you have got to find a way or make a way, even if it's being present.
Yeah.
Because you may save a life. You understand?
Yeah.
You may be the only thing between life and death for that person. And these women, one, if it wasn't for them, I would not have continued to grow through my mess. I would not have gained the strength to keep growing and stepping into, because we all have gifts, and we all, if you're a woman of faith as I
Yes.
am, then God's already working in the middle of that storm. He right up in there with you, and I didn't even know it then.
Yes.
I know it now, because I know for sure there's no way, absolutely no way, I would be here today telling you any of this if I wasn't he wasn't in the storm with me. That's a fact.
Wow, that's a fact. Listen, Pastor Annie, who leads a direct sales team, is witnessing. I lead a team now, and they have found themselves in freedom. Yes, yes,
Come on.
yes. Witnessing right there. There was a question that came in. If you just want to give your thoughts, Heidi said, "What do you do? What do you do if the abuser is in an authority? I guess an authority figure, authority seat."
I'm going to tell you this, because I don't care if they are the president of the United States or the somebody that has no job.
Right.
My response is going to be the same, because I'm going to tell you, you have to make a decision, because oftentimes we think that they really have. I thought that person had the control. You have to make a phone call and kind of hand it over, because this is something new. We don't know what to do with this thing. I'm going to tell you, there's a 1-800 number, it's a national number. Everybody can use it. You tell them what's going on, and they will walk you through the process, because your thing is unique. If it's a person of authority, then if they're a person of authority that has a weapon, then I'm going to need you to work to operate a little bit differently than that somebody that may not have access to that.
Yes.
So they're a person of authority. Remember this: the greatest authority is your faith. Your God is God. So that person only have authority in their realm. But not only that, I'm going to tell you that many of my clients, some of them, the person of authority is their pastor. And so what the problem is not about the authority, it's about the shame, and it's about us not wanting to make them look bad.
Yeah.
But let me tell you right now, you're not making them look bad. They're making their own self look bad. So this is when we have to deal with the limited beliefs, because I disrupt. That's what I do as a professional coach. I disrupt limiting beliefs. And the limiting belief is that somehow that this person really has control. So if it's a person, obviously military, police, or anything like that, would actually you hold all the cards, because you can make one phone call to the person that's in charge of them, and that's a wrap right there. You have a little bit more power there. If it's somebody that's in a clergy, it's the same thing. Quite frankly, you can go up to the top, or you can put it out there, because nothing worse than the flock knowing that the pastor, the lead shepherd, is in the pulpit preaching about one thing, but in the streets and acting another way. You got to, but you have to act. But besides all of that, you just got to remove yourself from it. It's about safety. If you have children, I talk about all that in my book, but I will tell you, if you have children, I'm going to tell you, if you can't do it for yourself, because sometimes it's so hard, because it's not. I'm going to list the ways. You think that you're a failure if you're married, you're gonna break up your marriage. You feel like if I'm gonna do it, and they're telling you, if you would just stop doing this, then I would stop doing that. You make me so angry, and they're gonna apologize, baby. It's gonna be flowers in one hand and punch you in your face with the other. Remember, love shouldn't hurt. If the person is up, I don't care what their background is. I don't care what authority they feel that they have over you. They do not have any of it. You have to take it back, and take it back by making a phone call. I promise you, the phone call to the individual, they're gonna have, when I tell you, a safety plan. You ain't never heard of a safety plan until you call the domestic violence people, because they're gonna ask you so many questions. But understand this: if you're in that position where they're gonna have to get you out of your home, it's not gonna be, let me pack up all the things that I love. All the little trinkets. They're going to let you take one bag. And I don't want you to get tied to things.
That's
Because
good.
we can replace things. We can't replace you.
That's good. Thank you for that response. And Heidi, I know that wasn't specifically her scenario, but I feel like that what you just said needed to be said for somebody that is watching live or that will hear this in the future. So thank you for that. I just wanted to highlight that may not be specifically Heidi's situation.
Oh,
wow. How can we get a hold of the book and work with you?
Okay, wait a minute. One more question. I want to answer Heidi's thing real quick. So
yes.
my husband, when I had experienced the trauma, right? When I experienced the trigger, at that point, I was a police officer and he was a police officer. But the folks that did it to me, the guy, they were not police officers.
Okay, good.
Right. However, both were prior military. So they had that thing. Okay. So just want to give you that, but I will tell you that same difference. But you can purchase the book by going to speakerstephanie.com, which is my website. You click on the link, say books, and you can click right there and you get a signed autographed copy of the book. I would love it. And if you once you purchase that book, you read it and you implement it. And then I would like you to do another thing. If you don't buy a book for somebody else and you're finished your book, give that book. Sometimes we don't know how to have the conversation with a loved one about it.
Yeah.
Give them the book and let the book do the talking for you.
Let the book do the talking. I love that. And you do a ton of speaking. And as I mentioned, this segment is brought to us by our 6th annual pop-up conference that's taking place in Richmond, Virginia for women entrepreneurs. Jump over to heygirlhey.biz. Right on the screen, you can screenshot that, heygirlhey.biz. But in your opinion, why is it important entrepreneurs, budding, aspiring, emerging, all of that, go to conferences and events? What's the importance?
This is my wheelhouse. So let me tell y'all this thing. Here's the deal. Truth. I don't know how many of you, and if this is you, I want you to go ahead and put in the chat, say that is me, Stephanie. How many of you launched your business either just pre-pandemic or did you launch in the pandemic? How many of you have some fears? You're like, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I'm not doing it because I'm kind of a little nervous. Les Brown says that many people are not living their dreams because they're living their fears. And I'm going to tell you what fears, what all fears are? It's a lack of something. And I'm going to tell you that when I started my career, one thing I'm going to tell you, my name is Stephanie, and I was a speaker, and I didn't know what to charge for folks. I didn't know. I just called myself a speaker. People were paying me, and I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know what was the deal about this, because there's a method to speaking. There's a difference between talking and speaking. Yeah. But I want to tell you that when I decided to take it serious and to learn to get a skill set, because what was holding me back from really being legitimate and saying I'm a speaker, right, was a fear. And the reason what I was afraid of was not being able to do it the way I thought it should be done, is because I lacked the skill. And in order to get that skill, you got to go to Goat Mountain, go to where the people that are already doing it. So I'm going to tell you, go to the events where the people are doing the things that you want to do. They are already doing it well. You need to invest in yourself. Don't tell me you don't have any money. Don't tell me you don't have any time. Because first of all, if you're not living your dreams, you don't have time, and you can't afford not to go to events. I'm talking put your money on you, bet on you. Yeah. I mean, y'all got kids. Look, my mama said, I'm from the last southern state, upstate of Maryland. So I'm gonna say y'all gonna hear a little bit of southern drawl. They'll be judging me, but this is what it is. But how many of y'all, you got kids? You know good and well you done spent more money on those kids. They may or may not deserve it, but you spend it on them. Right. So I need you or family members or other people, invest in you. I need you to give as much energy, and my entrepreneurs, I need you to give as much energy to your own business as you did to, as George Fraser said, that earned income job. Because we work real hard for that job that pay you the hourly wage. And we be putting in all kinds of little things. I need this training, I need that training. Or we'll have the nerve to say, they don't train me for this. I don't know how to do this because they ain't trained me. Well, guess what? You got a business and you're trying to get clients to come pay you for what it is you said you're doing, but you are not willing to invest in you to go to training and go where the people are that can show you how to do it well. Wait a minute and get this. They're not only going to show you, tell you, but they're going to keep you from making the same to avoid some pitfalls.
Bingo.
Somebody. I promise you all, I will tell you, I don't have just one coach. I wanted to learn. I said, I'm going to be a speaker. If you're going to be a speaker, then the people, I'm looking at folks, who am I looking at on YouTube and everywhere else? I ain't going to date myself. I've been watching Les Brown since forever. Yeah. And I just want to thank the pandemic. Let me do my public service announcement. I want to thank the pandemic for making Les Brown more accessible and reasonable for my pocket, right? Yes. And I just want to thank Lisa. I'm going to thank Dr. Sherwood for spending the tens of thousands of dollars with Lisa Nichols, so that I don't have to go directly to Lisa Nichols, because I can go to Sherwood to get some of that stuff. And I want to thank the pandemic for making Lisa Nichols more accessible to me. Do you understand?
Yes.
But so here's the deal. The cost of their events became a little bit more easier for me to digest, if I will, right? Everybody has a limit, and sometimes you might have to go a little bit above where you feel comfortable. But here's the deal: if you have spent, I don't care. Look, if you bought a pocketbook and that purse or that pocketbook was more than $200, $300, $400, $500, or you got more than one, if you got Louis anybody. And it's Louis, not Bluey, but it's look, if you got some red bottoms, I don't care, baby, if you really go to the hairdressers and you get your hair done and you spending big money and you got your nails done and you a regular at anywhere, the nail salon, the hair salon, you got makeup, you get MAC and whoever else, you can afford to go to any conference, seminar, summit, retreat. Absolutely. And wait a minute, get a coach, pay somebody to do the work for you. Girl, you done messed up, girl. This is my.
Listen, you right in my. You go, just go. I'm like the Olympics with the baton. I'm running behind you, handing you the baton, saying go.
Somebody asked me, like, how do you keep your hair? Listen, I can make my hair look good, but a professional stylist who's went and got the training and spent the money to learn how to do everything, she can make it look great.
Yes.
And I don't have time to do what she can do with my hair. So I pay her so I can sit there, make my little appointment. I got a standing appointment. I walk in there. When I walk in, I feel good. When I walk out, I feel beautiful.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, go to the professionals. I promise you, listen, I'm launching my YouTube page, right? So I have a YouTube page. By the way, y'all go ahead and follow Stephanie Wall. Follow me, Speaker Stephanie. I'm launching a YouTube page. So it was okay. I'm trying to launch. How we tippy toe into something we're not comfortable. So I said, okay, I'm going to launch this. So I went and was following some folks that who does it fabulously. I found a duo called A&O, Amber and Olivia Howard. Baby, I did their challenge, paid the money, did the challenge. So you pay money. Stop trying to get things for free when y'all know how, but this is a business, right? They're not really robbing. They're teaching you. They're not breaking the bank. I paid the money for the challenge. They offered something where you could learn even more, because I did well with the challenge. Something I want to be great at it.
Yeah.
I paid the money for that. So I'm here to tell you, if there's a summit, a retreat, a conference, whatever it is, if the people that are hosting it are people I'm following anyway, and they have what I need, I'm going. Yes, I am. I'm going. And matter of fact, let me just throw this out here right now. And I get this a lot, girl.
Go for it. Listen, go.
Oh, Lord. I get this one a lot, that folks say, I don't have money, and I don't have to get coached by this person, or I don't have the money to go to all of these things. I don't have the money. Okay, got it. But let me tell y'all about this ain't a secret. Just come on in close. Listen to this, y'all. It's time for you to volunteer your services. It's time for you to first be an intelligent follower. Yep.
Woo!
You know what? It costs money, and it needs a lot of people to put on a conference, a summit, a retreat, and whatever. We need people, and everybody don't have to be hired. Here's the deal. Can you imagine you say, hey, Sharvette, listen, do you need any help at your conference?
Mm-hmm.
How can I serve you? Listen, can I serve you and can I get a discount, or can we negotiate? Can I work for the conference? So that
Uh-huh.
I right now understand when you work, there's some stuff you can't watch everything. You have to watch it on the back end, you understand? But
Right.
you might have to do some work because you do some things. I worked, but I also paid this particular one. I worked for SpeakerCon. I was the one,
Yes.
I was the one that was the people that were going to be on the stage, in the green room. I'm the one calling them in the background, negotiating. I'm also was the one on the Facebook putting up the graphics and engaging with the people.
Yes. Serve. Hashtag serve.
Hashtag serve. And guess what that gave me? Access to not only the person putting it on, but access to every speaker. And it gave me visibility. And after it was over, you would have thought I was one of the speakers because everybody was like, oh, Stephanie Wall. I talked to Stephanie Wall, Stephanie Wall, Stephanie Wall. You want to get without visibility, you're out of business.
Bingo.
You can have a great product, but if don't nobody know how great it is and don't know about you, you're out of business. So in order to get visible and to do those things until you rise to the level where you can pay for it yourself, volunteer your services. Don't discount yourself. Don't count yourself out. Put yourself in the game. Matter of fact, I don't want you ever to say, I can't take the word out. Instead of talking about what you can't do, I want you to write down every morning all the things you want to do. You write your list, wake up, I want to do this, 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 and this, right?
Yes.
And on the other side of it, I want you to say, what if? What if I did such and such and such? What if? Everything is what if. I want you to look, instead of talking about how you can't do it, I want you to tell me how you could do it. What if I just contacted Sharvette and said, listen, Sharvette, I would love to come to your conference, but right now my funds are all tied up in whatever, but how can I serve? Is there some other capacity? Can I earn a spot at the, you think she wouldn't be like, well, wait a minute, hold on. I do got this one thing that I was getting ready to pay somebody to do. What skill sets you got? You might be good. You might be like the bomb.com in marketing. You might be the graphic guru. You might be somebody, you might be the MC of all MCs. Come on now. It takes people.
Listen, this is so good, y'all. I know this is my show. I know this is my live share. I know this is my time. I'm sitting here. I'm greedy enough to, as my friend Diamond said, I came here to serve, but I'm greedy enough to eat. I'm greedy enough to take in what you're saying, because what you're saying is absolutely correct. Absolutely right. You cannot get a fruit tree without putting seed in the ground. You can't do it. It's raining here in Richmond today, but the rain doesn't bother me because people that have seed in the ground know that you need the rain. So I have served at other people's events.
Come on.
I have served. I have been ambassadors. April Franks, I've served as an ambassador. So there are always ways that you can get there. It's a mindset. That's why you're a mindset coach. I can hear. Listen, I know people are saying, I want to work with her. How can they work with you? How can they work with you?
Let me say, look, listen. You can go to everything speakerstephanie.com. When you go to Speaker Stephanie, contact me, put in there. I check my own emails. But let me tell y'all this. You never stop serving. You never stop serving. I don't care who it is right now. And once you learn how to serve and you do these things like we're doing right now, ask everybody. I want you to look, as a matter of fact, if you don't do nothing else, even if you said, you know what, Steph, I just want to connect, because I just want to connect with you. Send me an email. Listen, I saw you on the show, right? And I would love to connect with you. But be very specific. See, I want you to learn how to be specific.
Yeah.
Listen, don't just say I want to connect. I would like to know about this. How can I do that? I'm going to tell you that the God didn't tell me nothing about gifts are meant to be given to other people.
Yes.
So I got the gift of gab and I'm going to use it. But I do know that what happened with that I have come through a place. I came from a place of feeling like not enough to understanding that I am enough.
Come
Because
on.
it's not just where I'm at and who I deal with, but I know who I am and whose I am. But I also know my purpose.
Yeah.
You know, folks say, "What is your purpose?" No, I don't know, Stephanie. I don't know what is my purpose. Let me tell you what your purpose is. What is that one thing that you're so good at? And people always tell you you are good at that. And you may not even think that's your thing, but people say you are like really good at that.
Yeah.
That's your purpose. That's your gift. And the reason, if you're not operating in that gift, the only reason you're not operating in it is out of fear. And the only reason you have fear is because you need a skill. You need something so that you feel comfortable enough doing it. It's like speaking.
Yeah.
It's like, once you find out the tools to how to tell a good talk, because there's a methodology behind it, and you find out the tips and tricks.
That's it. It's a wrap. Listen, are you on LinkedIn?
I am on, look, as they say, I'm on LinkedIn,
All
Twitter,
right. I'm
IG,
trying to
Facebook.
find you on LinkedIn. I'm trying to find you on LinkedIn. Is there any?
Yes, Stephanie Wall. So everything is, I'm Speaker Stephanie everywhere. Speaker Stephanie everywhere. But Stephanie Wall, Speaker Stephanie, you're going to find me. But listen, if you go to my website, you can click on it takes you to all my links. And my LinkedIn, listen, on my LinkedIn, you are going everywhere. You're going to be real clear that my gift, right? I disrupt limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
I serve everybody. I can serve anybody, but I power serve women. I power serve women. And here's the deal. I don't care who you are. You should strive to be in somewhere you're leading somebody, and you should know how to lead yourself. So if you only want to lead anybody else, I want to make sure that the people I serve become awesome leaders of themselves.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
I need you to lead yourself well, because you got to lead your family. You got to lead and if you're a parent,
yeah. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I mean, it's so, and I have stolen more time than I requested, so I want to honor your time. But again, anywhere you're trying to connect, speakerstephanie.com, the main website, will link you, because sometimes in social media, the links are different than what the name is. So if you're having any issue, if you're hanging out at Sharvette.com, I have her links there. But if you go to the main website, speakerstephanie.com, that will link you out to everywhere that you want to go. Where are you located, actually?
I am in Maryland. I am right in Elk Ridge, Maryland. Look, right as you know, as this country folks say, right up the street, girl, and everything is DMV. Right in the DMV.
Right in the DMV. Well, I love it. Well, my last question for you, the goal of my show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate Stephanie Wall.
You know what motivates me the most is folks that step out on their faith. The folks that say, I'm afraid to do this, but I'm willing to do it. And if for no other reason, I'm doing it for my children. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it because I deserve it. It motivates me to see other women, and particularly other women who've experienced trauma, move past the trauma to help other people move past their trauma. That motivates me every day and twice on Sundays.
I love that. Stephanie, thank you for being here. Amazing. I had no idea that the show, the first part, the second part, the last part would go in the direction that it went, but I'm so glad that it did. And so thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Look, see you all on social media, but go out there and live your dreams. Live your dreams. Wait a minute. One last thing.
Yes.
Bob Proctor says that change is inevitable, but that personal development is a choice. So choose you.
Choose you. Choose you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. An amazing show. I know that this is a segment that you want to share out with friends. If you're brand spanking new to me and you're like, I popped in, somebody shared this, I'm Sharvette Mitchell. So let me just play a quick little video to share a little bit more about me. And then I'm going to come back with closing and final thoughts for the show. Here we go. Imagine what it would feel like to throw a spotlight on your business and draw attention to the great services you offer. Picture having the tools and strategies to elevate the marketing of your business. That's the mission of Mitchell Productions. We consult with women entrepreneurs and a few lucky men to help them get more customers by focusing on their visibility, their marketing, and their branding. In working with us, our clients generate more revenue and increase their brand awareness. We do this in a couple of ways with consulting services, the Platform Builder Group Coaching Program, pop-up conferences, book collaborations, and the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Hi, I'm Sharvette Mitchell, your online marketing strategist, your overwhelm eliminator, your platform builder, and your confidence igniter. Let's schedule a meet and greet call so that we can accelerate your marketing. All right, just a little about me. And if you're at Sharvette.com, there's a great place to connect with me there. Wow, Stephanie Wall, again, at Sharvette.com. If you missed any of this and you're like, oh my goodness, I need to go back, I want to share this, a great place to share and check out all of our past and upcoming great, amazing interviews is at Sharvette.com. It's a wrap for today. Thank you for such an engaged audience. Ulika Kimber coming in saying, love this. Thank you so much. It's a wrap, and we will see you all later in these internet streets. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.